Hey, Craig.
Craig, back again. Craig,
You're back.
Nice to see you,
back.
Craig. It's
My
been
bro.
a little while. My brother.
He's back.
Been a little while. We missed one, so we're gonna redo this topic. I'm saying the redo the topic because I guess it wouldn't matter. I guess if you didn't hear the other one, I don't know. I feel like my opinions have changed quite a bit since we recorded it the first time, but that's okay. Here we are. We
seems like a very you thing to have happen.
Well, your opinions change with your experience. You can't have a static opinion.
No.
Strong opinions loosely held, my friend. I think
Always.
one thing, always. I have one opinion. Once I get that opinion, it never changes ever.
Even with the introduction of new information.
Yeah, I never change my opinion.
I'm no flip-flopper.
I'm no flip-flopper.
You're flip-flopping on me, man.
Anyways,
I'm a straight shooter.
I'm a straight shooter. Epic campaigns starting at level 20 and moving on from there. That'll be
grandiose campaigns.
Grand campaigns. That shall be the topic for today. In case it doesn't finish, we've got a couple other small topics if we have to. So boys, we missed a couple weeks. What do you guys think? Where do you want to start with this epic campaign thing?
Follow your lead, my brother.
We can kind of start where we started last time, which is how would you implement it? Would you go at level 20 and then your next level you can pick another class to start leveling a second class to 20, or would you just go all epic boons, or how would you do it?
I would require you get one to level 20 and then you have to switch. No epic boons. You have to start playing an extra class.
A new class.
And then we kind of talked about it before. I feel like this is going to happen a lot, but
yeah.
Does your proficiency bonus go up with it? Do your stats go past 20?
Okay, I have renewed thoughts on this.
Okay, let's hear them.
I ran recently on Deft and Dorky. I ran what is essentially a one-shot level 20 campaign. And I had never run anything like that. I had honestly never run a campaign that was level 20. But I will say, now that I have been there, level 20, I think last time we recorded this, I was pretty positive about the thought of an epic campaign level 20 plus. And like now, I am still decently positive about it. But my opinions have changed drastically on the like implementation of it. That being that, like, I don't know about you guys, but those fights felt like a slog.
I feel like they always feel...
It might have felt like that because no one knew what their character did.
That's true.
That's why if you're going to run an epic campaign, you might want to just be like, we're going to start at level 1, you're going to get to 20, and we're just going to keep going.
We're just going to keep going.
That way you like know your character, because you start at level 20, you're going, oh man, I can write a pretty awesome backstory. But it doesn't mean anything because it never happened.
So Joe, okay, I think Joe's idea from last time, which was run a campaign where the 1 to 20 is like in a school and you get to go.
Not 1 to 20, that's 1 to 3.
Sorry, all right, 1 to 3. Wait, 1 to 3 only? I think
1 to 4.
Like 1 to 4, 1 to 5. This is a college.
1 to 4 so you can get your subclass or your first
1 to 3 to get those. Yeah, to get the
ASI
or ASI, and I would give ASI and a feat at level 4.
I think
you get both.
Running a campaign that leads up to 20 that you level up pretty rapidly, and then it slows as you get to 20. Like every session or two, you're gaining a level.
Right.
Until you get close to 20, and then it slows down a
you
little
hit like
bit, but
15,
not a lot.
It starts to slow down, and then
not a lot. And then by 20, it starts to get hard.
And you're
over
doing
20.
Epic.
Yeah.
Epic things.
I was thinking last time, like,
we're not hunting goblins anymore.
Yeah.
We're hunting super goblins.
Yeah, goblins. The problem with starting at 20, I think, was very very noticeable in that campaign, in that session that I did, which was like nobody had any fucking idea
That's
what
the
was
big
going
thing. Like,
on.
if we would have had a couple months of playing,
Yeah, absolutely.
everybody gets used to their characters. Fights would flow a lot better.
I don't think it would even take that long. I think. Well, yeah, I guess 3 sessions a month is what we play, or 4. So I think 3 or 4 sessions is enough to get used to a character, as long as there's a decent amount of fighting.
You say
in
that,
there.
but you're used to getting used to level 2 characters, not level 20.
I think it also depends on if you're playing a caster or not. I think casters
if
take
you're not playing a
longer to get
caster,
used to.
Yeah.
If you're playing a martial class, then yeah, probably about 4 sessions. I think you could get into it.
The nice thing about starting at a low level is it lets you build up how your character's going to act, how your character's going to feel about things.
Yeah.
Whereas you start at that level 20 and it's already like, okay, my guy would be set in stone in most of his way he acts, way he thinks, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, he would have had experiences that guide him.
After starting at the level 20, I would much rather start lower level, build it up. Succession.
Yeah,
and then
a quick level up to 20, then start the epic campaign. Yeah, absolutely. Last time I was like, start at 20, no problem. But then you're like, yeah, I can write a cool backstory, I can do all these things, but you have no idea how to play it, number 1. 2, how does this character act? I'm not saying they won't evolve level 20 and above, but I would say a lot of character development happens 1 to 20.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So maybe not like a 3 or 4 year long campaign where you get to 20. That would be a slog. I think once you got to 20,
if you took like a full year to get to 20, and then
I was thinking like 6 months at most.
Yeah, that could work too.
Yeah. If you're playing weekly.
If you're playing weekly, you could get there. Man, yeah, it would. I mean, if you're doing it, you'd have to do it like you'd have to average like you'd have to average more than a level a week, right? Or at least a level a week to get there within a year. Because if you're doing a level every 2 weeks, that's like 40 weeks. That's you're getting close to a year already.
I think for the first so many levels, for the first let's ballpark it. For the first 8 to 10 levels, it's a level a week.
Let me look at a table here.
Pull up some data for us, my guy.
I will go for the first. I think 7 would be pushing it for casters.
You think?
Because you have first levels when you start, which that's fine. You can get used to that. But at third level, you're getting second level spells. That's a ton of spells you got to learn. And then at 5th level, you got 3rd level spells. That's that's so many spells you can choose.
I think, but here's the thing.
And 7th level is 4th level spells. So
if you're playing with it,
you want to slow it down.
If you're playing a group that is meant that knows this is going to be an epic campaign, like I said in the last, God, I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that so much.
Yeah, you're going to say it a lot.
I'm going to say that a lot. Like I said before, you're playing with experienced players who generally know all the major spells, and the only minor thing they're not going to know is like really specific spells. I don't think there would be nearly as much to learn. I wouldn't take a brand new player and do this to them. It would be brutal. The whole thing would be just like a chore. But all of us in our group, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
We could do it, but I still don't know all the spells. There's a ton, which I'll bring up again. We did that customized spell episode, and I made up a spell that already exists, apparently.
Well, you should,
because I didn't know that spell existed.
I think that was your fault.
Spells, I was like, I never came across that specific one, and I made it up, but it already exists pretty much.
There's only a few spell lists where I don't know a ton of them.
I think those are like, well, you might know a ton, but there's still probably a lot where you would go, that's a thing?
Cleric and paladin spells, don't know them.
I made that paladin, and I was going through the spells, and I was like, what the heck?
Cleric and paladin spells, I don't know them. But sorcerer, wizard, druid, I have a pretty good idea of most of the spells. Fireball, and obviously,
like fireball.
The only spell that matters, fireball. What else do you need? And then I know a lot of the druid spells because I've done a ton of druid builds where I'm like, I'm going to be Cheese Master Extreme. And so I know all the good druid spells. I know all the good sorcerer spells because I played a sorcerer up to 20. And sorcerer spell list crosses over pretty well with a wizard spell list, bar just a few things. So I know that spell list for the most part. I know the most powerful spells and everything, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like with that knowledge, that's all I need. And also with the resources online and stuff like that, I'm an experienced enough player that I can hunt down, optimization and what spells are good and what spells look good, and then use that as my starting point and then build from there. And it would be way easier than if I was starting literally from nowhere. So I don't think it would be like a dramatic learning curve in the way that.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, the learning. It's not just a learning curve of the class, though. It's also a learning curve of the campaign. Like throughout a campaign, you start to get an idea of the way the DM is going to start to run encounters.
Yeah.
And you start, okay, these spells are probably good for this campaign. But if you're leveling every week, I'm not sure you get that same feeling.
I think that though, if you're leveling that quickly, there doesn't even need to be an adjustment. Like if you're leveling that quickly and you can swap out spells and get new spells fairly easily, which you will for the first so many weeks. Yeah, you can just take the best things in the beginning, and like if you're picking the best optimized spells for fighting, you're gonna be pretty solid in most campaigns. Couple of utility spells, but mostly really good damaging spells. You've got almost an entire campaign covered.
Yeah, I mean I'm not saying it's not doable. I'm just saying that I think that I don't know. I would lose the feel a little bit going so fast. Because like especially when you're playing a caster, like there are certain fights when you're not leveling every week. You're like, you know what? I got this spell in my backpack. I'm gonna use it right now and see how it feels. But you're not really gonna use those weird spells if you're leveling every week. You're just gonna be like fireball, fireball, fireball.
It's a good spell.
Or you can role play it.
Yeah, you can, but it's just kind of tough to do when you're leveling every week.
Dude, it's just I don't know. I don't know. I don't necessarily think so, but I can see that concern.
It's definitely something like I would like to find out.
Trial run.
I have never done it before to level up that quick.
Yeah,
especially if you're getting into like 7, 8, 9, 10.
What level
How is it going to feel whenever you're getting big boy stuff?
What level did we start in your campaign, Isaac? 3, right?
3.
That was totally fine.
Yeah,
there's a lot of campaigns start at 3. It's like get your subclass.
It's hard to start at 1.
At really 1, everything feels about the same.
Making a backstory for a level 1 character is kind of like, okay, my guy did nothing for however old he is. Or you make, for at least for me, I always get stuck in my character is 19.
You're just a late bloomer. If you're like an elf, you can start at like 50, right? And you can be like, now I decided to do something. Isn't that like an elf's whole thing? And isn't that why they're bad at Lord of the Rings? Because like they're so slow, they never get anything done.
Yeah.
They're like, I mean, I can put off fixing the bathroom for the next 10 years. No problem.
I'll just deal with it.
See, I feel like I would want to slow down around, I think 7. Just because that's when you've got just so many spells to choose from at that point for casters.
But I wouldn't slow down dramatically.
Yeah, you'd have to go to like a level every 2 weeks, basically. Because if you don't go fast as that, you're not getting there for a year.
It'd be like Diablo 2 leveling. Do you remember leveling in Diablo 2?
Yeah, you like enter the first zone, kill something. Oh, I'm level 2.
Yeah.
You kill like 5 more things. I'm level 3. This is great. And then by the time you're like level 30, you're like, when am I going to level again?
Exactly. And then by the time
you're 90, it's like,
it's like, oh my God, that took me 3 weeks.
I can't remember if this is right. I think it takes as much XP to get from 90 to 100 as it did to get from 1 to 90.
That sounds
so
right.
Like it slows down dramatically. I don't think I slowed down that much, but
I played a lot of Diablo 2 in its heyday, and I don't think I ever had a character above 88. I just got bored
really?
with it and chose something else. Yeah.
I had a few characters at 99, but listen, this isn't a gaming podcast. I'm using the level scaling of Diablo to kind of illustrate how this should go, which is like you get to 20, you get to 10 pretty quick, slows down. You get to 20
That's when
sort
it
of
becomes a real
fast. Yeah,
campaign.
you get
And
you get up to 15. Oh, it's slowing down quite a bit. Oh, you get to 20. All right, this is your 6, 7 months, 8 months in, however, a year maybe.
Yeah.
And then it slows down dramatically. And you're leveling up like a normal campaign where it's months and months before you get a level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds fun. I'm just not sure. Like the concern that I have is, we've talked about this before.
Yes, we
There
have.
are certainly some, like, especially it's like subclass features that are balanced to not be combined with other subclass features because of the way they fall in the levels. And when you go to level 40, makes it 220 level characters, some of those are going to mix, and you're going to find some broken stuff, sometimes by accident.
I don't think I wouldn't be finding them by accident, Isaac.
Yeah, I mean,
know your audience, Isaac.
There's a lot of subclasses, and not many people play them to like those top tier things that you get out of them.
I'm sure there is some forum somewhere that I can dig up that is like, oh yeah, do you know if you go to this and you do this and you do this, you can do 2,000 damage per round, and I'm gonna be like,
I did it. I accomplished beating D&D.
I beat D&D.
So then you get into the problem of the DM having to balance the fights, which was my original concern.
That would be the really tough part at first, I think.
To both balance them and make them not feel like a slog.
Yeah.
So, boo. Okay, what I'd say out of that one that I run, the small fights where you guys are just fighting, let's call them regular enemies. Those didn't feel too bad. I would say the only thing is that the enemies probably should have done that. Campaign was a pre-made, and it was supposed to be balanced for 20. I think that those enemies had about the right amount of health. It wasn't a long fight. You guys were able to kill them.
If they weren't resistant to psychic, I would have knocked them out, dude.
True, but that's the nature of level 20, right? That things are just resistant naturally.
Yeah.
A lot more things are, and their health, I think was about right in like the 150 to 200 to 300 range for those. I think that they needed to do slightly more damage to make it feel like a tougher fight.
I just think you weren't hitting. You were rolling kind of crap.
I was rolling kind of crap, yeah. But I know that the last fight against the big boss, I don't know about you guys, but I felt like it went on forever.
Well, that's how the big fight's supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's how big fights are supposed to go.
And that thing, you guys, I think in total it had 300 health. You guys took out the first phase of it real quick. It wasn't until that second phase where everyone kept rolling bad and getting themselves.
Well, it was like everybody had disadvantage, and
we're always missing because of the shadowy thing.
Yeah,
that was another thing. We hit, but then we missed because he's invisible.
You roll under a 10 again. Yeah. I thought that fight was fine. You guys got pretty low. It felt like that was a pretty decently balanced fight. Using those fights as a template, though, I think that 150 to 200 health, around like 15 to 25 AC, depending on the enemy. And then the lower the AC, the more resistances maybe. And then they're doing something like 20 to 35 damage per round each.
I think that the part
on a hit, sorry,
that would make, because if you're going to be doing these, if they're all supposed to be epic fights, they're all going to take a decent amount of time. The hang up, I think, or one of the hang ups, is that, and it kind of happened in that campaign that you ran, Eric, is that at some point everything gets homogenized. Everyone is standing in one place, never moving, just slapping each other back and forth. If you can find a way to make the fights move, they feel a lot better.
All right, here's my you say that, and I instantly had this thought.
Okay.
No attacks of opportunity. Boom. Problem solved.
Screw that.
That's not fun.
Yeah,
why is that not fun?
Because some people take Sentinel. That means that's a big part of their build is the attacks of opportunity.
Being able to class. Oh, you muted yourself.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to cough.
The ability to move around a fight, if that's what you're worried about, I figure like that's how you solve the problem.
No.
Or there's like some
But
kind of
that's not fun,
percentage
though.
reason.
No. I don't like that at
I
all.
think that you just have to take attacks of opportunity. Like that's part of the fight.
Or you
It speeds it up a little bit.
You add in for your enemies Misty Step.
Yeah, you do Misty Step, or you change.
You can use a legendary action to Misty Step.
You change the.
Yeah, there are plenty of.
I think you could change up the rules for it as well.
Or do like a layer, layer actions.
Yeah, the regular enemies aren't going to have. Like none of those enemies.
We're talking like the epic fights.
Oh, in the epic fights,
I think another thing too. I don't think all fights would be epic. I think what you would do to really, really make those epic moments even more intense. To get there, you got to throw them little mini fights after mini fights.
Yeah, like the fights that were in that thing where you fought like
bunches.
5 or 6 little angels or whatever.
Where we're taking out these dudes, but we're also like getting bogged down, getting a little more bogged down. Not much, but like it after
I think
6
also
or 7 of those fights before you fight a big boss.
A detriment in that thing that I ran is everyone knew we were going to fight a big thing. So everyone wasn't using their abilities the way that they normally would.
I used it all. And
then we got
to that fight, and I was like, "We getting arrested?" And you were like, "No," and I was like,
So everyone else just kind of held back, and those fights probably would have gone pretty fast. But really, most fights do go pretty fast unless they're like unless the fight is designed to be a slog. Otherwise fights are decently quick usually.
Yeah.
30 minutes to an hour, depending on how many enemies there are and how bad or good people are rolling and things like that. And that's totally fun.
I think another cool thing about doing an epic campaign is if you're on that status in the world, I have to assume that you're gonna be involved in the political scape of things. And that's another aspect of something that would be really cool is you guys are at a point where you're leaders in the community. Like you're making decisions for lots of people and they're having impacts on the world.
Yeah, not only that, but you've got a target on you. Some people don't want you where you are.
Exactly.
Yeah. Other nations could easily have level 20 guys that are also as strong as you, right? You're not the one. You're not the one true hero. You're just a strong dude. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
That opens up a lot of opportunity. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
That's where I see it as like the big selling point is the fights are going to be really cool, but also like the role playing aspect of it. You feel more important whenever you are like, we are the toughest guys in this country.
Yeah.
We kind of
manage
things. Or like, maybe we don't manage things, but like, if we need to get stuff done, we're like, hey, get it done.
I've got some ideas about how to do it. But I think, Joe, I think this is your baby. I think you should be running.
I have an idea for
campaign. It. Yes. You should do it. Do it.
Is this something you actually want to do? B, does that mean you want to find a third day to play D&D? No. Or do you want to wait till one of these other things are over?
It definitely. I will wait till the opportunity
until something's
is good.
I don't want to.
I don't want to add another day.
I don't want to.
If I ever do add another one, it'll be a bi-weekly with my brother.
But not another weekly. I couldn't do another weekly. I did 3 at one time. Well, we can transition a little bit here. 3 campaigns in 1 week. Too much D&D. I know, Isaac, you're still in like this honeymoon period of like, I could play D&D every night. But like,
no, I know what you mean. Just between
your
play.
Your well of ideas will dry up eventually, and you need time to like recharge from playing and having ideas. I can tell you this, I had to make 3 characters in the span of like 4 months for Michael's campaign. I had nothing left by the time I made that 3rd one. Like every idea that I had, I don't have anything left creatively.
I got by the time I got there. Ideas in bunches.
Yeah.
It takes me a little while to like come up with it. Depends on the headspace I'm in. Like depends on the projects I'm working on and what I'm doing, what other creative work I'm doing. Like I was just so drained by that 3rd one because I really liked the first one. I really, really liked the personality of the second one, not as much the gameplay. And then both of those died. And by the time I got the third one, I was like, I can't come up with something in a week. That's why I just like threw together a character and played it.
Are you still
Yeah, I
going to
mean,
do
I've
that mix up where you're making a new one?
I might still do that because like
That way you can take time with this guy who will be with us for a little bit, but then you can really
yeah, come up with a better character.
yeah.
I needed more time just to like come up with something better.
Or you can play a different character every time. We just run into new people a lot, and that'll help us have some world building because later on we can run into him in Michael.
Here we another new guy.
We love new guys.
I play each. It's a character creation exercise for me. I play a
Yeah.
new character with a new personality every 2 weeks, every
Yeah,
3 weeks.
You're like, I got 6 ideas for classes. I want to test them out before.
Yeah,
So like, let me have a session with this guy, a session with this guy, maybe 2 with that one.
yeah. Then I'll weed through all the ideas and figure out which ones are good.
Yeah, I still got a lot of character ideas, but I also have not played nearly as many characters as potentially both of you guys. I've played maybe 5, 6 characters,
I
and
haven't
only
played that
3 of
many.
them
I had
in any kind of long form.
any long form. I've had 2, 3 long form characters.
Yeah, I've only had 3.
I
How many? I
probably
thought you died.
Yuri lasted a pretty decent amount.
Yeah, I was
of
going
time.
to say I thought you died some in that campaign.
he only died
before,
once in that other campaign.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And that was I needed to die because we needed a tank.
Yeah, I did.
So I really like that character.
I was the only one who didn't die, and I think David died the most. He died twice, and Francisco died once.
That one guy was with us for a little while. He died like 4 times.
Oh yeah, well he was intentionally dying. I don't count that. He was like intentionally writing himself into the sunset every single session. I've played somewhere around. God, I can't even think how many characters I've played over the years.
Give me your top. What are your top 2 characters that you've ever played, and what level would they get to?
Top 2 characters I've ever played. There was a campaign, not necessarily D&D, D&D adjacent, like weird rules that Michael ran a long time ago, not too long after I met him and joined that group, or right after I joined that group. That I really, really loved that character, and we got to like level, I want to say somewhere in the 12 to 15 range is what it felt like. It's been years, but it was like a space themed.
Oh, that was your lightsaber werewolf character?
Yeah, I was a lightsaber werewolf. That character was sick, and it had an awesome story. And like, we didn't role play much, but it was still a cool story. And like, I had this moment where like I got the evil spirit thing, and I like turned on everyone, and it was sick. What a great character that was. Obviously Finn, my sorcerer from his last long campaign, loved that character. That's probably my character that I played continuously the longest. And
Well, yeah, you went from 1 to 20 on him in a Michael campaign.
1 to 20 over the course of like 3.5 years. I played in D&D 4th edition when I was in high school. I played I don't know if it's in 5th edition. It's like an evil paladin. Oh, not Oathbreaker paladin. It was his own thing. It came in a separate book, like this is for evil paladins and clerics book. And
what was his name?
Couldn't tell you anymore. I just remember playing the character.
We didn't role that great.
We didn't role play back then. It was more just like, how cool is the character that you're making? We would spend we would be over there for 5 and 6 hours. Like, we would all show up to a friend's house at 3:00 right after school on a Friday, and we would make characters until 5 in the morning. So it was about making the character as much as it was about playing the character. And playing the character wasn't like, hello, I'm Dinglebart McStuperschwitz, and here's my entire backstory. It was just like, I'm a badass. We're going to do badass stuff. Boom, boom, boom. You're hitting stuff. Things are cool. Because that's how it was when you're in high school. You're just like, I want to be an anime protagonist, not not like have character development. But I did like that character a lot. That character was pretty fantastic. And then I've had jokey characters in other systems. We played Mutants and Masterminds when I was in high school a little bit, which is like tabletop RPG superheroes where everyone's a superhero and supervillains. And I made a few like jokey characters in that were funny because that game was so busted that we never played more than like 10 or 12 sessions in each campaign because we all were so strong. It was completely broken, the whole thing. I would say that group is where I got my like min max. Like I was
That's where it
molded
came
in.
from.
I was molded into the min maxer because like every campaign was like, how powerful can your character be?
All right. So
I've probably played around 100 different characters.
that's a lot. That's way more than me, for sure.
Yeah, and I've like I feel like sometimes I get this reputation as like a curmudgeon who's just like out of ideas, but just like it just takes a little longer because I've just played everything that I wanted to play. And you might say this is a new edition, it's not the same as 3.5 or 4th edition, but I feel like I love 5e, but the creative freedom of 3.5 was incredible. You could do anything. And even 4e, my friend who who I played 4e with the most, um, his family was just rich as hell, and we had like hundreds of books because they came up with a book every month for like 5 years. And so the amount of official rules you could pull from was just greater in 3.5 and 4 than in 5. Maybe not
Okay.
as balanced, especially, I mean, 3.5 was balanced, but you could also get to the point where like you're killing God and taking his powers and you're fighting other gods. And I've done that. And that's cool. But after a while, it's like, where do you go from here? It's Dragon Ball syndrome. It's like, these enemies can't keep getting stronger. I'm literally the strongest man in the universe. And that's what Dragon Ball Z had to do. It's like, guess what? Now there's other universes with even more powerful guys. And those powerful guys are as powerful as gods, but not as powerful as these gods. Turns out the gods have a tier system too. And like, and it's like, okay, like, come on. At some point, it's like, there's no one more powerful to fight. You are the best. That's when you start a new campaign and your old character is a god in the new campaign. And like you build up to either fighting him or meeting him, or he is a god that grants your character's power or something like that. Incredible. Like I care more about the story aspect of it now than I used to. Is why I remember the characters that I make now more than my old ones, as far as like their name and their personality.
So would you do any epic boons at all or just none? Because I know earlier you said you basically have 2 level 20 characters.
I feel like the epic boons are pretty limited anyways. There's not a lot to pick from right now. Maybe in D&D next they'll have more. They seem to be leaning towards this like you can go past 20, but all you're getting is like crazy epic boons. So maybe there will be more, but as it is in 5e, I don't feel like there's a lot.
Honestly, I know I said that. I think in this conversation I've changed. I honestly think you do whatever you want. We're gonna get to level 40. Make your character however you want to make it.
Yeah.
Maybe just like after maybe you could do it like after you hit 20, every time you get an ASI with your whatever new thing you're getting, you have the option of taking an epic boon or a feat.
Yeah.
You could do that.
That'll be the extra.
And no wish.
No wish, huh?
No wish.
I think you could balance wish. And I think the way you balance wish is that anytime you use it, you have to say specifically with your words what you're wishing for, so your DM can attempt to screw you. That will make it fun.
Yeah,
and B,
I mean,
every
you
time
only
you
get
cast
one
wish,
shot.
Every time you cast wish, no matter what you're using it for, even if it's for just a lower level spell, you have to roll, and if you get below a certain number, that you can't wish anymore.
Well, then you might as well remove wish, because if you're going to do that, wish is largely useless.
And
because your DM is never going to give you.
Useless, it might be useful to someone else.
And also, if you're level 20 and you're like, I can only have one 9th level spell, I'm not going to pick the one that.
Why would you only get one 9th level spell?
Once you level up, you'll get more. But what I'm saying is, like
when you're there, up once, and there you go. You can.
If it's gonna take forever to get another level 9 spell, I wouldn't pick wish right out of the gate. Like in that last campaign where we got to 20, no brainer. I'm taking wish. Wish is incredible. But if you're nerfing wish in that way, it's like these other spells are probably better because I can cast them more often and not have any repercussions.
Well, I mean, you could still be like, if at some point you were no longer able to wish, at that point you were able to swap wish out with a different 9th level spell.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like
All right, that's
lock you
fair.
to, you can't do any 9th level spells now. But
Now you
just
can't wish and you can't do anything else.
Now you can cast counterspell level 9 and not
I think the only nerf to wish that has to happen is your simulacrum can't cast wish. That's the only.
I mean, I think that the easiest way to nerf that is whenever you cast simulacrum, it makes a copy of you, but you just use your 9th level spell slot. So simulacrum doesn't have a 9th level spell slot.
No, you can't do that because if you can cast simulacrum, what I'm like as a sorcerer, I couldn't cast simulacrum.
Yeah, but even if you do cast it, I think it has a monetary component, if I believe.
It does. But Wish doesn't. Wish gets rid of the monetary component. And it also takes a long time to cast. I think simulacrum takes a long time to cast.
12 hours,
Yeah,
So.
if you just get rid of that, as long as you just get rid of Wish can't cast simulacrum, boom, problem solved. I think Wish is it's still really good, but it's more balanced spell. Because really the cheesy stuff I was doing was kind of fucked up. But all you got to do is just say, can't do that.
Then we can like how
I think
the real world would like let you do it.
You know what I love? I like, and I've said this before, I love like finding that one sentence that's like, you fucked up right there.
Oh, we know. We're well aware of that.
It's great. It's fantastic. I love it so much. I think
it would be fun to have Wish be like where your DM is trying to hose you on it. But so you have to be specific, and then he finds a way I think that sounds fun to me, but
that depends on the DM. Otherwise, sometimes if the DM's not doing it well, you've just taken a 9th level spell that you might as well have just not taken because you're going to get fuckoed every time you try to use it. You know what I'm saying?
That's where you need to have a conversation with your DM and be like, hey,
you're not going to fuck me constantly, right? I can do something. Like, I wish for a glass of water. Actually, the whole universe gets blown up. It's like,
you were granted the biggest cup of water in the world.
You didn't drown in the cup of water. You didn't specify how big the glass was, so you have an ocean's worth of water.
I mean, yeah, if you're gonna wish for something that doesn't matter, then the consequences would be less because the DM's like, I don't want to think of consequences or something that doesn't matter. But if you're like, I wish for 100 million gold pieces, and then you're like, okay, you have them, and then all of a sudden, like over the course of a day or two, everyone's like, where'd all the gold go? And they notice you have it.
I think it splits it up. I think actually Wish has a built-in gold thing.
It does, but it's also Wish. So
yeah,
there you go.
I wish for a feast, and you get the feast, and it's like everyone in your kingdom is now starving because all of their food went to your feast.
Exactly.
No, I wish for all the food to go back.
Mad at you. That would be great.
No one would know, dude. Do we want to? What do we want to do now? I feel like we're tapped on the epic campaign thing. We got we want to talk about the unearthed arcana? Do we want to do more story time? Story time's always fun.
Do we want to talk? I don't feel like the unearthed arcana wouldn't take that long. And I feel I also feel like if we do it now, it's more topical than if we wait.
All right, yeah. Let's just cover that. I already did story time. I did Old Man Eric story time. That's another thing. My memory is crap, dude.
You hit 30 and there it went.
Dude, my memory was crap for the last like 4 or 5 years. That's just like my whole not 4 or 5 years, my whole fucking life. Unless it's like a really weird thing that I dive into way too deep, I just forget shit.
His whole life.
That's just that's just ADHD in a nutshell, my dude. Let's do
the unearthed arcana.
Yeah, let's just dig through this real quick. I don't think we need to do this.
The big thing in here is cleric. They've given us a guide for cleric.
The cleric.
So now the big things are you don't get your subclass until level 3, whereas before you got it at level 1.
Okay, just to bring it in line with the other ones.
Yeah.
You get channel divinity at level 1. but it does some different things now. So now you can use it as an action. You can point your holy symbol at another creature, and you can see within 30 feet. Focus a divine energy at them. Roll a number of d8s equal to your proficiency bonus. Add the rolls together, and you either restore hit points to the creature that equal that total, or force the creature to make a con save. And on a fail, they take the damage as radiant damage. So now, or turn undead. So you can turn undead, or you can use it as a heal or damage.
Oh, that's really nice. The heal thing is great. If you run out of spells, man, something extra, that's awesome.
But now, and also you can use Channel Divinity a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, as opposed to 1 and then later 2.
Okay, that's awesome
But they refresh on a long rest instead of a short rest.
I like that. I'd rather have it that way.
I think it's
I'd rather have multiple.
Yeah, I like it.
All sounds good.
I like that a lot, actually.
I do. I like that a ton. Playing a cleric right now, that would be very nice. I would, because especially with the way we do rests.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you kind of get. I mean, the way we do rests, it kind of, and with the cleric that you are being Twilight Cleric, it kind of works out because you can give us temp HP every short rest.
Yeah.
With your
Channel Divinity. We only get one of those, and once you use that, it's gone.
Yeah, but you get a refill on a short rest as opposed to a long rest.
Right. That's what I'm saying. We only get one short rest for an hour, and then we got to wait at least 8.
Yeah. I feel like it's pretty close though, because we don't get long rests hardly ever. So if you use right now, your proficiency bonus is 2. So if you use them both, that's it for a while.
Yeah.
Definitely the plus if you're doing it like this. Cleric is tough.
Yeah.
At least like wizards have like fire bolt.
Most clerics just aren't that good. Reference back to our cleric episode.
Well, I feel like you're healer without the ability to long rest. Clerics are hampered in doing what they're supposed to do as a support class, if they play it as a support class.
I know.
Hey, I know too. Like I got it a little easier because by the time I rolled my cleric, we were given long rests a little easier. But
and you could attack for the first 30 sessions you played.
Yeah, it's true.
That was a role-playing choice, not a cleric problem.
It was a role-playing choice. It made it real difficult. They need some cantrips that let you you have disadvantage on attacks against this guy. You take half damage. Like Blade Ward, I should be able to give it to one of you guys.
You wanted to be what you really wanted to be is like a holy battle master fighter. Giving people maneuvers and stuff.
So second level, you get a new thing called Holy Order.
Yeah.
Holy Order.
And you get to choose one of the following options. You can choose Protector, where basically you gain martial weapon and heavy armor proficiencies. You can choose Scholar, where you get proficiency in 2 of the following: Arcana, History, Nature, Persuasion, or Religion. And you get, when you make an ability check using one of those skills, you gain a bonus to the check equal to your Wisdom modifier. So you can add your Wisdom to whatever.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Or you can choose Thaumaturge, which means that you can prepare 1 extra cantrip from the Divine spell list. In addition, you regain 1 expended use of your Channel Divinity whenever you finish a short rest. So if you take Thaumaturge at level 2, you get 1 back every short rest, which is pretty nice. So I feel like those are pretty cool options, depending, like they really help you sort of shape the way you're going to play the cleric.
So far, I appreciate this a lot more than what we
have. Third level is when you pick your subclass. Right now, the only subclass that they have, the only new, quote unquote, new subclass they've released is Life, which is pretty. I mean, there already is a Life subclass, but 4th level you get a feat. 5th level you get Smite Undead, which makes your Turn Undead feature to smite the Undying. So whenever you use Turn Undead, you roll a number of d8s equal to your proficiency bonus and add the rolls together. Each undead makes a saving throw, and if they fail, they take the damage. So instead of destroy undead, when you do that, you do damage to them.
That doesn't seem super great. That seems really...
It is a nerf. Well, it's a nerf and a buff, because it's a nerf because it doesn't just kill low level undead. It's a buff because if the thing would have been higher than that level anyway, you get to do damage to it.
It also just seems like one of those things where, like, if you're in a campaign where there's no undead.
Oh yeah, but that's already that way, right? With turn undead.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
you don't have to use your channel divinity to turn undead anyway. But it's just that they're changing it to where instead of destroy, you do damage.
Yeah.
Smite evildoers is what it needs to be called.
Smite evildoers. Are you an evildoer?
No, I would never.
No, I've never.
God! I mean, God.
Oh man.
6th level, you get the subclass feature. 7th level, you get Blessed Strikes,
Whoa.
which is similar to what you get now, I think, at 8th level.
Yeah.
Where when a creature takes damage from but it sort of combines them. When a creature takes damage from either a cantrip of yours or an attack with a weapon, you can also deal an extra 1d8. So I like that a lot better than what they have now, where it's just you get one or the other, and doesn't matter how you want to play your character, melee or spellcaster, you just get one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Colossal Slayer.
Yeah, pretty much. Except you can use it with, it helps your cantrips out, which are already going to scale, like the best scaling spells in the game.
They were like, hey Ranger, we're gonna take the best thing about you and make it better and give it to someone else.
I'm sure like if this is getting this much of a rework, everything
I know.
is going to be like getting a.
I'm just saying this is what came up first.
And then, but you can use that feature once per turn. 8th level is a feat. 9th level, you get a second holy order, so you can choose a second from that list of 3. 10th is a subclass feature. 11th is divine intervention, which works the same, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, it works essentially the same, except for that instead of if it succeeds, you have to roll 2d6, and that's how long it takes, how many days it takes before you can do it again instead of a set.
Yeah, good luck rolling
it. Yeah.
Greatest moment critical role history.
12th level is a feat. 14th level is a subclass feature. 16th level is a feat. 18th level is greater divine intervention, which is what you get at 20 before, where it just works no matter what.
Yeah.
And then you roll 2d4 for it to recharge instead of 2d6. 19th is a feat, and then 20th level is an epic boon.
Boon, yeah.
Your device isn't set up yet.
Your device isn't set up yet. You should check on that.
God, Eric, get it set up.
Dude, I need to unplug that dang thing.
Craig is sick of your shit.
So the subclass that we get is Life Domain. 3rd level, you get your healing spells are empowered by life itself. When a spell you cast with a spell slot restores hit points, that creature regains an additional hit points on the turn you cast the spell. They've added this on the turn you cast the spell language, and I don't know why. I haven't figured that out yet. But the additional hit points equal 2 plus the spell's level. So I think that's pretty similar to what Life Domain has now, if I recall.
Yeah.
6th level, you can use your Channel Divinity. So you don't get a Channel Divinity until 6th level for your subclass, which is different. But you can use it to restore a number of hit points equal to 5 times your cleric level, any creatures within 30 feet, and divide it as you will.
That's pretty good, though.
Yeah, it's a good one. But again, this is the thing that you can't bring a creature's hit points to more than half their max HP, which is why it sucks real hard.
Yeah.
But same thing that's kind of already there. Except you got to wait till 6th level instead of 2nd. 10th level, Blessed Healer. When you cast a spell with a spell slot on another creature that restores HP, you regain HP equal to 2 plus the spell's level. Again, on the turn you cast a spell. I don't know why that language is there still. But basically, it's like whenever you heal someone else, you heal yourself a little bit. And then at 14, Supreme Healing. When you would normally roll one or more dice to restore HP to a creature with a spell that you cast with a spell slot, don't roll those dice. Instead, you use the highest number possible. So that's pretty good. But 14th level.
I'm betting they're adding that like turn
the phrase
turn you cast the spell, because there's going to be like healing pools where it lasts a couple of turns, but you only get it on the first turn, not every time it
That could be.
Probably.
The only other things they changed, they added the Ardling, which I don't have a frame of reference for what they would have changed.
Was Ardling in the game? This is just
I think.
This is just your beast folk.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly what they do now, so I can tell you what they've changed. Dragonborns they changed. At 5th level, you now can fly for a bit.
What's up with all this flying? Get out of here with the flying. Dude, flying not...
I don't really like that they're adding a bunch of flying just because it's...
They were like... D&D watched...
they can fly now.
I watched Star Wars, and they were like, they can fly now.
But yeah, Dragon at 5th level, you can fly for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
And then Goliath, they changed to where now you pick a giant ancestry, and then they give you a thing that bonus, you can use. Yeah. You can use proficiency bonus times per long rest. And a lot of them, one of them you can teleport 30 feet. One of them you can just do an extra 1d10 fire damage when you hit. One of them you can do 1d6 fire cold damage when you hit and slow their speed. One of them is you can just knock them prone. There's not even a save for it. You just knock them down. One of them, whenever you use your reaction, whenever you take damage, you can use reaction. It's one of them is Stone's Endurance, which is
normal Stone's Endurance. Yeah, Stone Giant.
One of them you can use when you take damage. You can use reaction to deal 1d8 thunder damage to a creature
within 60 feet.
And then at 5th level, you can become large as a bonus action. Proficiency bonus times, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no. It's just once per long rest.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay. Speed increased by 10 feet. Yeah.
You have advantage on any saving throw made to end the grappled condition because of your powerful build.
Oh, yeah. You also count as one size larger when determining your carrying capacity. That didn't change at all.
So when you turn large, you can carry huge things.
Whoa. And then when I get huge, I can carry gargantuan things.
Yep. Otherwise, I think that's
it for that. And then there's some feats and some spells.
Yeah, there's some new revised spells. I haven't read through all of those yet.
I don't think...
Sorry.
I feel like we can cover the rest of this stuff. Like the spells, there seems to be quite a bit in the spell list. So maybe we can cover some of this in another episode because we're kind of running.
We jammed through that cleric though, so that part's done.
We jammed through the cleric and the races,
Goliath and Dragonborn.
Yeah, so we can hit this conditions and everything.
But quickly, what is your summation of the changes that they made?
I think the changes to the cleric are fine. I think that like anything that seems OP right now may only seem OP because
everything's not out.
Yeah, everything's not out.
So
I think that makes it hard to play test.
I'm waiting for. There's going to be a lot of flying enemies, and it's going to be really cool to have flying warfare.
Maybe that's
going to be real annoying for everyone who's trying to play with minis to have flying warfare. That's what it's going to be.
Everyone plays online now.
My big sort of concern is that when they came out with this originally, they're like, this is going to be backwards compatible with 5e. But it's not really.
Yeah, I feel like if you're playing it, I mean, the Goliath changes are by the by. Like you could implement those right now and it wouldn't change that much. I don't feel like any of this is as broken as like the backgrounds that give you feats, that came out in Spelljammer.
Yeah. But I mean that's what backgrounds are moving to. But
that's
the weird I think it's weird that they said that this is going to be backwards compatible and then they changed how the classes work, like at what levels they get things.
They'll just release all this stuff and everything, just the player's handbook gets replaced, right? They go old player's handbook, no longer valid.
They said all the core rule books would be they're making new ones.
Yeah.
But if they're making new ones and said it's backwards compatible, that means that you should be able to pick from either and be fine. But I don't think anyone is going to pick any of the old stuff
if the
new stuff is so much better.
It resolves itself, right? Why would you pick it if the new stuff's better? It's backwards
But
compatible.
So you're saying they're using backwards compatible to sound friendly, but it's not ever going to be
I mean, it
needed
is.
because it's a new
Yeah.
edition.
Exactly. Yeah. It's to make you not feel so bad about buying all those books.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, I can still use these. They're backwards compatible.
They're backwards
Oh, let me read
compatible.
that. This is trash. I don't want any of that.
I don't want any of that. I don't want anything in the regular
Oh.
player's handbook.
Dude, guys, check this out. I can do all this, and your buddy goes, "Yeah, that's kind of lame." And you go, "What can you do?" And they go, "Awesome stuff." And you're like,
Look at all this stuff in my new player's handbook. I'm like, why did I even buy this player's handbook?
Yeah.
I bet they won't even sell the regular player's handbook anymore. I think the backwards compatibility
that's the
thing,
part that kind of rubs me wrong, is that they said backwards compatible, and then now they're just like,
the backwards compatibility, is just a placation, right? That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's like, hey guys, totally backwards compatible, but really, like, it is in the same way that like 5e is backwards compatible with 3.5 as long
what
as
they
you
mean
don't.
is backwards compatible is that on D&D Beyond, it'll still have all of it there.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can put
yeah.
it on your
It's got a
character sheet,
legacy
mix
button
and
on
match.
It doesn't. Yeah, you flip a switch. Legacy.
It's gonna say shit.
I say that D&D if D&D Beyond added support for like 3.5 or 4, I think that they could sell those books again to people who were like playing that style of campaign still.
Sure. I wish they hadn't
matched them all in one.
I wish they hadn't
campaign.
made such a big fuss about it. Oh, it's going to be backwards compatible, and then they come out with these UAs that like even change the way all the conditions work.
Yeah,
and I'm like, well, how is that backwards compatible? You're just changing everything.
They're doing everything. Short
I'm
of
grappling him like 5e.
Yeah.
So you can't roll it like that, okay?
Yeah. They're just, it's just like they're stopping one step short of calling it 6th edition. I think what
I
they
really
want
just wish they would like made a decision and gone with it.
You know what they should do? This is 5.5e.
It doesn't even feel like that though. Like they're changing all the. If you go to the player's handbook,
it feels
look
like
at
that.
it, and all the stuff is changed, and it does no longer applies.
Well, they did that.
5e.
They did that 3 to 3.5. 3.5 got a new.
Did they? Okay, so
I
don't know because I didn't play 3 and 3.5. But if you play 3.5, was anything in the 3 players handbook still relevant?
I didn't play 3. I started in 3.5, but I'll say this: 4 is literally nothing at all like 3.5. It was a true 100% change. Like, it wasn't a couple things got reworded or we optimized a few things. It was like nothing about 3.5 carried over other than the names of things.
Yeah, from what I know, it sounds like it went from like tabletop war game to tabletop video game.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then 4 to 5. 5 is closer, I think, to 4e than maybe like some of the people who hate 4e think it is. You know, they're like, I hated 4e. 4e is terrible. There's all your really old guy gamers who were like didn't play World of Warcraft and they were already in their 40s when 4e came out. I hate everything about this because I can't be a dickhead. Sorry, I can't be a dickhead as efficiently. But 5e is closer to 5e is the bastard child of 3.5 and 4. But I think it's closer to 4 than 3.5. 3.5. I always had these like rose tinted goggles about 3.5. The 3.5. Wow, 3.5 was amazing. Everything about 3.5 is great. And to be fair, I haven't gone back and played 3.5 specifically, but I have played Pathfinder and Pathfinder 1. Sorry, not Pathfinder 2nd edition, which just recently came out. Pathfinder 1 was a continuation of 3.5. It was like, well, we don't want 4th. We want 3.5. So Pathfinder. And it was based very heavily on 3.5. And I hated everything about it. So maybe 3.5 isn't as good as I remember, or maybe it was just the group I was playing with at the time. But I don't even know if it was that. I think it was just like it did feel bogged down. It felt like these things. There's too many rules.
Yeah. So that's my only gripe about it is that they seem to be trying to sell it as oh, it's backwards compatible. It's just there's going to be things about either that you could take,
Yeah.
and then it's going to be great. But it doesn't seem that that's what's going to be happening.
It's worded pretty similarly. Everything is like generally in the same spot for the most part. This cleric thing's a pretty big change, but most things are kind of in the same spot, just worded differently and
Yeah, it's all
finagled. Everything's
all
massaged into a new position.
yeah, it all seems to be using the same language, but it's just changing the rules, which I guess would be why they don't want to call it 6E because it's
5.5e, dude.
yeah,
That's what it
I
is.
guess.
It's 5.5e. I think I said that in the original
That's what everyone
D&D video,
guessed.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 5.5e. It's not 6e. It's 5.5e. And why
Yeah,
would they
I
want
just-
to go to 6e? Everyone loves 5e. 5e is like the most popular.
Well, yeah, and that's why they're
5e
saying
ever.
backwards compatible because they don't want to lose
Yeah.
all the 5e people that just came here. Like, wow, this D&D thing is pretty cool.
Just
like me.
came here. 5e has been around for a while, dude.
Yeah, but Critical Role has brought a lot of new people into
Critical
it.
Role's been around for a while, hadn't it?
Yeah,
yeah.
it's been around for like 5-ish years.
Yeah, okay,
Well,
that's enough
I think
time.
it's been around for like 7.
But yeah, but still, like I didn't even get into Critical Role until halfway through the second campaign.
D&D
And there
is
are
a
more
service.
people getting into it as they go. So
That's where we're going. D&D is a service. DLC for D&D. It's like a modern video
that's
game.
what it already is. That's what expansion books are for. It's DLC.
No. They'll just do more often, right? They'll be like, it's going to be like D&D is going to become like Fortnite, where there's like a new season, all new stuff.
2015, March
20. Yeah,
12th.
there you go.
Okay.
2015.
7. Hold it. Boom.
Congratulations. You seem very excited about that. I want to
He's got
revel in your
amazing memory for
celebration.
that. He's got amazing memory for that kind of thing.
It was a Thursday.
It was a Thursday. Here's the exact date. Anyways,
The one time they played on a Tuesday.
I can tell you every character I've ever played.
I can't.
Well,
Yeah, I can too. I've only played like 5, so
yeah, I can't tell you what character I played a week ago. Anyways,
Who's been your favorite character you played, Isaac?
I think it was Victor.
Yeah.
Now I think that Eru might get there once he's a little higher level. But Victor was very fun and like both mechanically and RP wise.
it's recency bias. You had more time to build it up. Once you build
Eru,
this one up,
I think Eru will get there as long as he lives. Because I've been having fun RPing with him, but his mechanical side it's still level 4. So
yeah. Non-casters for me are only entertaining once you've had a big long thing with a caster, because I played 2 like punchy up guys back to back and it was
Actually,
like woof.
coming in a very close third is Harlan. He's been a blast to play.
Harlan.
The bard that I played twice
Oh,
now.
okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't know anybody's name in that campaign. I barely remember my own name. I flip back and forth between my character's name and Mr. Clippy Clop, so it's whatever. That one's whatever. Anyways, this is the end. Thanks for listening, everyone.
We gotta ask Joe. What was your favorite? We've asked you and me. What's Joe's favorite character?
I gotta break it into like fighting and roleplay.
Okay.
See?
Roleplay wise, it's really close. Theron and Sarah. I really enjoyed playing them roleplay wise.
Okay.
Fighting wise, 100% Yuri. The wizard's been my favorite.
Okay.
By far.
You get more options, dude. You get more options to do stuff. You can more like creatively choose how to affect the battle as a caster.
Longevity wise.
Longevity. I got one for every category.
Stuff up.
All right, now send us off.
Okay, this is the end. Thanks for listening. I don't know what the next topic's going to be. We might just do like a small mini topic episode next time. We'll cover the spells. We'll cover any other like relevant news. We'll just do a story time episode maybe, and we can talk about yonder past D&D experiences. Well, Isaac can interview us because he doesn't have a lot of Yonder Pass D&D experiences. But anyways, see you next time. This one will go up. Actually go up this time. I lost the last one. That was my bad. Well,
Peggy fucker better be recorded, son of a bitch.
It was a mix-up between my bad and Craig only keeps the recording for 7 days because I had a corrupt file and I waited way too long to edit. So, my bad. Sorry, everyone.
All right.
Thanksgiving break is what it was.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're back on schedule, baby. See ya in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Later.
Yeah.